Nigerian president since 1999 has spent the most money on fuel subsidies? Is it President Yaradua, may he rest in peace, B, President Jonathan, C, President Buhari, D, President Obasanjo? Anyone want to take a stab at that?
C, President B. President B.
So I put the poll on my, and most of Twitter got it correct. 77% said President Buhari, 6% said President Yaradua, 13% said Jonathan. Maybe there'll be implications. I'll take the money from fuel subsidies. Look at this number. This is I was, and shout out to Steers, and which wrote an article on this. I got it from NATI, the extractive industry, transparency industry initiative. President Buhari in 8 years spent 12.4 trillion naira on fuel subsidies. That is more than the amount of money of President Obasanjo, Yaradua, and Jonathan spent between 1999 and 2014. It is a staggering amount of money. It is enough. I'm thinking of starting my own death protest in the streets. If you put this thing in perspective, please, I'm calling on everybody.
Carry placards.
If you add the budget for 2016 and 2017, the amount he spent, 12.4 trillion, is 91% of that combined amount. Basically, it comes to about, I think, 13.1 trillion. So you are 1 trillion away from the combined budget of those years. It's greater than our 2021 and 2022 revenues combined. We brought in 5.1 trillion in 2021. I estimated 5.6 in 2020. In 2022. And you join it, that's 10.7, so it's over 2 trillion that amount. If you convert it to dollars, we've been talking so much about how much we need in FX, right? At the INA rates that closed yesterday was 770. It comes to $16.1 billion. I mean, it really is a staggering amount of money. And when you think about borrowings, it impacts how much we borrowed. By the way, there's an update on Ways and Means. Shout out to Yaradua, who's been on this matter of CFG advisory. He pointed this figure out to me, so I went to the CBN website to go and check. Ways and Means, because I was calculating 23 trillion as at the end of 2022. It has now ballooned to 27.5 trillion as at March. So the CBN data is at March. What month are we in? We are in August. So between the end of 2022 and 3 months into 2023, you've added another 4 trillion, right? And so, my calculation, remember I put up this calculation, I have to now revise these numbers because I was doing 5.6 trillion total public debt. That CBN overdraft was 23.18, and I have to increase that by another 4 trillion to 27, which means your 69.4 trillion debt, if you add 70, 71, 72, is now 73 trillion, right? And this is funds that at some point it will impact everything. Whether you want to go to war with Niger, whether you want to increase reduce youth unemployment, anything you want to do, the debt is going to hang around your neck. So it is just a staggering amount of money.
A couple of things. I think I have an answer to what you posted about subsidy. The answer for you is corruption. Pure and simple, corruption. What it just shows you that there was a lot of corruption under President Buhari's administration, only to think he said he was going to fight corruption. Pure and simple. I also get the argument, yes, most of the wells are aging. A lot of the wells are aging. There's been no real investment because most of our foreign direct investment used to come through the oil sector in this country. Investment in the oil sector and the likes. Most of the wells are aging. And it just shows you the unprecedented corruption. So this is the argument a lot of people are making. Why don't you fight the corruption that is being perpetrated under the leader? Because all of a sudden, we all want to look away from that. Have you ever asked those in charge that how come that most of the oil we import are going away through our borders? You say, you can't man the borders, It's not in this country that Charles Taylor tried to run away through the borders. Didn't they find him? So if they could find Charles Taylor, you can't find a full 33,000 tanker. There's connivance across board with the cultural authorities and those in authority. Because when you also look at all stats that removes you didn't put there, Rotus, is let's put the number of cars. How did they increase in Nigeria over the years? Since Obasanjo just that you want to say we've added 20 more million cars to Nigeria. Do we have close to 20 million cars in Nigeria? No. So why are the people drinking the fuel? It's just because these people became emboldened and they were taking the fuel across our border. So they've not added a colossal amount of cars. So where is the consumption? Corruption is the consumption. And that's why we keep saying President Buhari should also account for what happened under his administration. Pure and simple. If this APC government is sincere with Nigerians, they should ask the president to also account. Just like he talked about the extra 4 trillion they printed between December and this time. The question is, what did they do with the money up to March? And I'm sure if you further the record now to August,
it's almost 30 trillion.
It's almost 30 trillion already.
Maybe more.
So that means we are printing the money on steroids. When Godwin Obaseki said we're printing money, didn't the CBN come out and say no, he's lying. So all the money they are printing, all this money they are printing, there is God, oh, there is God, oh, there is God, oh.
Well, since the assigning of portfolios to minister delegates, earlier on before their inauguration a few days ago, many have continued to wonder why a veteran journalist will, be put in or be nominated for a position that involved a professional in solid mineral, in science and all of that. Well, I had to, get, Mr. Adele Alake on this one. That, sir, why are you the one that Mr. President is pushing forward? I mean, you are to tell her, why are you the one that Mr. President is pushing forward on this matter? Because we all know that even the first role that you got in this cabinet, in this administration, was the role of, a special assistant on media and publicity, communication and all of that, which we were all expecting that, okay, they will give you Minister for Information. Why are you the one that Mr. President is putting in charge of mineral, solid mineral?
The person he trusts most.
You say what?
Person who has a passion in his own estimation, who has a sense of responsibility, the knowledge, the vision, the courage to drive that sector and harness those critical resources for the benefit of Nigeria. And that's why I'm here.
Great. So okay, well, one would have expected that if you are the most trusted, if you are as trusted as you say you are, one would have expected to have somebody like Mr. Dele Alake as Minister of Finance. Because the Ministry of Finance, I think, is almost the most sensitive, part of all the sensitive parastatal of all the ministries. But then we're having him as Minister for solid mineral, and one continues to wonder why would that's why we said, okay, this is a round peg in a square hole. Why should that's why we don't get results in this country? Is it about somebody that is being trusted? It's about somebody who can harness. Though he said that, but I just feel that's just grammar. Well, let's see how things pan out, because it's a very short one. I just wanted you to hear his response to his defense to why he was made Minister for Solid Mineral. Thank you very much, Mr. Dele Alake. Of course, I hope when we call you next time, you will be willing to to respond. Thank you very much. God bless you. Bye-bye.